Here's how to use the REV button to exit or reverse your position using the Predator. I've had many requests over the last few months about the functionality of the REV button, and you guys have sent in a lot of really good suggestions on how we can improve it. And I think with this update, we've just about covered everything. So with that, let's get right into it. All right, so this video, we're going to be focused on the yellow REV button that is in the lower panel, the top right-hand corner. And this button will serve many different purposes, but its main function is to help you exit a position when it detects a condition, or it will exit and reverse your position when it detects that condition. And just as a quick overview of how this button works, once you have the Predator loaded, you will see the option you have selected on the button, in this case REV.OPP or reverse opposite. You can easily click through the options. And don't worry, we're going to go through each one individually so we can fully understand how this button works. But you can easily just choose which option you want while the Predator is already loaded. And guys, if you do not see some of the functions here in your own version of the Predator, that means you have an older version. I get this asked every single time there's an update. So guys, please, if you're missing something, go to the website, download the latest version. You have to remove the previous version, import the new one, and then restart NinjaTrader. And I promise you, you will see all of the latest updates. But with that, let's go into the properties and go over all the options that the REV button offers. All right, so here in the properties, you're going to find your REV exit options under the O1 control section. And you can select it from here, or you could also select it from the control panel while it's already loaded. That is going to be completely up to you. But for now, I'm going to go to the REV exit, and I'm going to select the REV.OPP or REV opposite. And this just means it's going to take any trade from your O2B auto entry section, that is this section down here. And when it detects a trade in the opposite direction, it's going to exit your position. So I'm just going to show a live example of that. Setting up a reversal, I'm going to trade the reversal, and I'm going to color it in. For my stop and profit, I'm going to set these far away just so they do not get in the way. Again, this could be whatever you want. I'm just doing this to show an example. So I'm going to hit apply, and let's load it on the chart. All right, so now that we have it loaded on our chart, let's take a look at the button really quick. The REV.OPP button is just looking at your current active trades. That is on the top right hand corner. You're going to see any sort of auto entry you have selected. If it is in white, that means it is currently active and the Predator is looking for that trade. If we were to enter a long position, the REV.OPP button just means it's going to look at any auto entry you have selected in the short direction. Once it detects that short entry in the opposite direction, then it's going to exit your trade. Now, this is very important. Let's look at the button to the right of the REV.OPP button. You're going to see two little arrows returning. When you see this, this means when the REV button gets activated, it's going to exit and it's going to reverse your position. So as an example, you're going long, the REV.OPP button gets activated, you have the arrows, it's going to exit, and it's going to go into a short trade. If we were to click the arrows and go to the little door, kind of looks like a cell phone, supposed to be a door, but if you click on this button, that means it's just going to exit your trade. It's not going to re-enter in the opposite direction. So for example, you're going long, it detects a short reversal, the REV.OPP button is going to get activated, it's going to exit that trade, it's not going to re-enter into a short trade. So I'm going to show an example of how both of these work. First, I'm going to go with the arrows, and that is going to re-enter us into the opposite direction. So let me hit play. All right, so here we had a long reversal. We got into a long trade. Now with the REV.OPP button selected, we are looking for a short reversal. So let me slow this down a little bit. All right, So here we had a short reversal, and all of these are on the same timestamp, but we got a short reversal. It activated the REV.OPP button. It took us out of our trade, reversed our position, and now we are in a short trade. And if we keep playing, and here we were in a short position, we got a long reversal. Again, the REV.OPP button activated with the reverse position button, took us out, long trade. Now, if we were to select the arrows and turn it into the door, let's see what happens. I'm just going to hit play. And once we get that short position, we get the short reversal. It just took us out of the trade. We did not re-enter in the opposite direction. So that is how the REV.OPP button works. It's just looking at whatever auto entries you have active on your chart. And this goes for any auto entry that you have in white. So if you have inside bars, engulfing, MA cross, as long as it's in white up here and it detects that condition, it doesn't matter how you entered, as long as these are active and it detects that condition in the opposite direction, it's going to activate that REV.OPP option. But with that, we're moving on to the next one. All right, for our next option, we are looking at the REV option. It works in a similar way as the REV.OPP option. The only difference is this one is only looking at a reversal candle in the opposite direction. Now, this one does not require you to have any trade reversals on. This is going to act separately from the auto entry. This one is just, if you're going long, once a red candle closes, it's going to take you out of your position. If you're going short, once a green candle closes, it'll take you out of that position. So I'll show you how that works. Let me just set up the auto entries. So for this example, I'm actually going to remove the reversal, and I'm just going to enter using an engulfing candle. That way it's a little bit easier to see it at work. So I'm going to color in my engulfing, and once we set all that up, let's hit apply, and we'll hit enable. Now with the REV option, you also have the option to exit your position or exit and re-enter in the opposite direction. For this example, I'm just going to exit. And you'll notice up here, we just have the engulf button enabled. We do not have any reversal. We don't have anything else. So I'm just going to hit play. So here we might enter one soon. There we go. All right, so here it went a little too quick, but we got an engulfing candle. We entered our original initial entry. Once we got that first green candle in the opposite direction, our REV button got enabled and it took us out of our position. So let's see if we see another one here. So here we got a long engulfing candle. Once a red candle closes, again, it's going to take us out of that long position. So there we got our red candle right away. So there we entered short again on an engulfing candle. Once that first green candle closes, takes us out of our position. And that's all there is to this REV button. The only thing with the REV button to remember is it's not affected by any other indicators or other filters. It's as soon as it detects that candle in the opposite direction, that's when it's going to get triggered. But with that, on to the next one. All right, our next options are the new additions for the REV buttons. We have our REV.STOP, REV.TARGET, and REV.FLAT. These all pretty much go hand in hand. It's just going to let you adjust to exactly what you want to do with your strategy. So for these examples, I'm going to start with REV.STOP, and I'm just going to load it on the chart. For the REV.STOP, it doesn't really matter how you enter a trade. All that really matters is that you have a stop order on the chart. So as you can imagine, REV.STOP just means when you get stopped out, it's just going to reverse your position. So again, if we are short, Let's see if we get a stop out here. It's going to exit that short and go into a long trade. Now, if you were to do it with a limit order, it's not going to do anything. This one needs to be a stop order. And how it works is just when it hits that last stop order you have on the chart. So if you have 3 separate targets, once it reaches the last stop order, then it's going to reverse that position. Now, let's select Rev target. This just means it's going to be your profit target. So this one, if you move your limit order, it's just going to re-enter in the opposite direction. And you'll notice one thing with the REV.STOP, target, and flat buttons is that you cannot toggle the right-hand button here. It's always going to be on the arrows, because if you need to exit a position when you hit a profit or a stop target, you are better off just turning it off. That is essentially what it's doing. So it's always going to be enabled while you have these options. So again, if you see it's not toggling, it's because it only has one function. If you just want to exit when it hits a stop or a profit, just turn it off. It'll be the same thing. And now for the flat option, this is just going to be anytime you're in a flat position, you're no longer in a trade. So you could exit a trade any way that you want. So as long as you close it off, it's going to re-enter in the opposite direction. Oh, do not move stop orders to the opposite side of the market, or that happens. So let's re-enable. If you are exiting using the orders printed on the chart, use the limit order. Try not to move the stop order too much. If you are moving the stop, make sure it's always on the correct side of the market, or else you get the error we just saw. So again, flat button, once you exit a position, it's just going to re-enter in that opposite direction. And one last functionality note when it comes to the Rev button is when we reverse a position, it's not going to reverse the entire position. It's going to reverse and enter whatever we have set under O4 order management. So for example, I'm just going to set a few targets here. So let me set up 3 different targets. So here I just set up 3 different targets, and this could be whatever you want to set up here. This is just an example. So let me enter into a trade. So if you were to add on to your position at any time and you do reverse your position, it's just going to exit your current position and re-enter anything that you set up under O4 order management. It's not going to also re-enter with the ads, or if you took out other positions throughout your trades, it's just going to resubmit that same order. Now we are moving on to our last Rev option, that is the Rev Custom. So for this one, let's go back into the properties one last time. All right, the final option for the Rev button is your Rev Custom option. This one was probably one of the most highly requested options, but this one is going to let you exit out a position on any auto entry that you like. And the main difference with this one compared to the REV.OPP button is this one, you do not need to have this auto entry enabled. So let's say you want to enter in an engulfing pattern, but you want to exit only with an MA cross. This is going to let you do just that. And I'll show you how this works right now. So in order to set this up, you go to the Rev Exit button, obviously select the Rev Custom option, and you're going to see a Rev Custom selector. From here, you can select any auto entry that you want. And guys, again, keep in mind, this is not for your initial entry. This is just for that exit condition. For this example, I'm going to select MA cross. And now I'm going to scroll down to my O2 auto entries. and I'm just going to select how I want to initially enter a position. For this example, I'm going to just stay with the engulfing candle. This is going to be the only way I can enter a trade. Now I'm going to set up my MA cross. I'm just going to leave it like that. That's fine. I'm going to leave the enter at MA cross unchecked. Leaving it unchecked means it's not going to enter a trade based on an MA cross. So I'm going to show you how that looks on a chart right now. So let's just hit enable. All right, so we have our REV custom option selected. We can look up here and we see engulf is the only button in white. That means while the predator is running, it's only going to enter a trade based on engulfing patterns. The MA cross button is transparent. That means it is not active. The predator is not going to enter a trade based on that MA cross. Now I'm going to go to my REV custom button and I'm just going to change this to the door, because once I enter a trade, I just want to exit on that MA cross, but I don't want to re-enter in the opposite direction. All right, so let's hit play. And we are looking for an engulfing pattern. Here we just missed one entry, but that is okay. All right, so here we entered on an engulfing pattern. Now, because our REV custom option is set to an MA cross, we are looking for a long MA cross. So once the fast crosses above the slow, it's going to take us out of our position. So we'll see if that happens. Maybe here. Nope. All right, so here the moving average crossed above. That took us out of our initial position. We just happened to have an engulfing candle at the same time, so it entered us long. And now in this case, we're just waiting for the fast moving average to cross below the slow. And then it's going to take us out of our position again. So right there, we had an MA cross to the short side, took us out of our long position. And guys, if you wanted to re-enter when that MA cross happens, you could just switch this to the arrows and it's going to enter you into a short at that time. But that's all the REV custom button does. It's just a way to enter into a trade with one option and exit with another. But I hope you guys found this video useful. If you guys have any other suggestions, let me know in the comments, let me know on Discord. But as always, take care, enjoy.